I've known the next guest for 100, 150 years. We've been together. Okay, what a shock, huh? Huh?
Yeah.
And you only 30, Marge Peck, you son of a gun.
Close to that.
Well, I've known you, of course, on KTAR radio a lot, and we're introducing you to the television audience here. Marge Peck, associate broker of the Peck team, and the team is assembled to do what primarily? What's your mission statement?
Our mission statement right now is to help homeowners that are frustrated, they're upside down, and they don't know what their choices are.
That's almost everybody, it seems,
It's
from
pretty
what I
much
hear.
everybody.
Okay, but we are told we are getting closer to being okay. What does Marge Peck say?
That's one side of the story.
Tell us the other side of the story.
other side of the story.
If there is another side.
Well, there is another side of the story. I've done some graphs, and I did a lot of homework the last week, where I'm still seeing the pain out there. Kind of like when they told us we were coming out of the recession.
Yes.
And we were still in the recession. I don't think we've come out of that yet. I know there's a lot of investors, and there's some first-time homeowners that are stepping up to the plate, but there's an incredible amount of inventory still available.
Okay, so you're going to have nothing but bad news. Don't we need a little good news now just in order to goose things along?
We've got blue skies today. It's Arizona, and we've got dry heat. I mean, I've got to tell the truth. There's so many homeowners that are still frustrated, and when they hear the market's going to go crazy this year, should they sit in their home upside down and not do anything? Or should they call somebody and know what their choices are?
Yeah, but is somebody feeding us a line of bull, or is it just a matter of misinterpretation?
I think there's just two sets of numbers.
Well, if there's two sets of numbers, usually you get arrested.
We can do one survey and come up with a certain set of statistics. You know, are there $30,000 houses still available? They're getting grabbed up pretty quick. But are we going to see a 25% increase on everything in the market? I don't think so.
What about the $500,000 and over houses?
Well, I did some graphs on that the other day because that concerned me. About 20% of our inventory right now that's active, this was yesterday morning, is over $500,000. And to me, I thought, okay, that should fall in line with the same amount of distressed properties. And it doesn't. Most of them are still showing that they have equity. So I went into individual listings to see if the agents have done their job and been honest with the homeowner and said, maybe you don't have equity, maybe you need to be doing a short sale. And I found several that I was a little disappointed at where they were priced.
Marge, could we define some terms? You know, in the communications business, people drop these phrases and assume that everybody knows what we're talking about. Okay. I'm not even sure that I know what I'm talking about. A short sale to me is something that somebody my size sells. So would you define short sale versus foreclosure?
I like your definition better. Would you like to be on my team? A short sale is a financial negotiation with the lender to sell your home for less than what you owe on it. Mm-hmm. So if somebody owes $300,000 and the house is worth $150,000, you're a little upside down. We have to sell it short of what you owe the bank. And people are sitting in their homes terrified.
But how does that affect my credit as opposed to foreclosures?
Oh, it's a lot kinder to your credit, especially if you do the short sale current. Most people don't realize you can do a short sale and be current on your payments.
Who are the bad guys? Banks or the feds or both? Or others too?
Banks are the bad guys. We have really great relationships with the lenders we work with. We understand the transaction. I think that sometimes some of the representation, I know the lenders have announced their new leasing program. Let's call it what it is. It's a foreclosure program, a deed in lieu of foreclosure, which means they're going to foreclose your home. You don't have to be late. You don't have to do anything. They'll just foreclose your home, and they'll lease it to you for 3 years. Now, I think what's unfair about that, and I get a little upset, this is my upset face. I'm really angry right now, that we have an investor that comes in and wants to buy your home and lease it back to you, and they can't do that because that's mortgage fraud. So how can the banks come up with a new program now that the feds are encouraging? All the banks come up with a new leasing program, which is foreclosure/leasing for 3 years. And people are saying to me, why are the banks doing that? Well, if were somewhere near the bottom of the market. Now they're going to sit and hold the asset till it appreciates a little more. I don't think that's fair. I don't think the banks should be in the banking business and the real estate business.
You can understand, though, why the consumer, why all of us who are consumers are confused about this marketplace. So why should we call Marge Peck? What can you do to unconfuse us?
Well, we come out and we spend about an hour and a half with the homeowner, just like I did with Bruce St. James, and showed him what his choices were and explained that. And if you want to work with another real estate agent, that's one of your choices. We just embrace this from the very beginning. I didn't go look for a bank to do bank-owned properties like a lot of real estate agents have done. I didn't mind waiting 5 or 6 months to be paid a commission. I think the homeowners needed some professional help at the very beginning of this crisis when the market just collapsed.
Yeah, by the way, if you only listen to Howard Stern, pathetic. But if you only listen to Howard Stern, you may not have recognized the name Bruce St. James. He happens to be 9 to noon on KTAR. Terrific, vibrant, vital, and knowledgeable broadcast personality. And I mentioned that not to plug him, but to say that's how the two of you got together. He's
Correct.
your representative on the air, but you helped him out of a very, very difficult situation.
I didn't call him up and say, Bruce, I can list your home. He was on the air every day telling people, I'm going to walk away.
Yeah.
And his neighbors were calling in and they were angry that he was going to walk away and have another foreclosure in the neighborhood. I sent him an email and said, Bruce, you have choices. And 2 days later, he had me on KTAR. And it was so cute during commercials, he kept saying to me, I did not know that. I did not know that. And so I thought, if Bruce St. James didn't know that, in his position, that everybody has to understand there's still a lot of homeowners that don't know what they can do in the situation they're in.
Sure, and in this business, we do have access to an enormous amount of information, but every single hour of every day we say, I did not know that about, particularly this field. So, before we have to say goodbye to Marge Peck for this visit, 3 choices. Is this a good time to rent, a good time to buy, or a good time to wait?
If you're a homeowner, it's a good time to take a time out and rent. Get off the Titanic. We know how that story ends. If you're an investor, there are some amazing opportunities out there for cash flow.
How can we find out what those opportunities are unless we contact Marge Peck?
Well, you could call 480-CHOICES and we'll be able to talk with you.
I thought you'd never tell us. And look, there it is. It's on the screen, so there's no possibility of you forgetting. Jot it down. The Peck team. And you can ask for any member of the team, and you can also specifically say, oh, wait, I saw Marge on the Morning Scramble. Stick around.